A Navy pilot who recorded an unidentified flying object in 2004 has gone viral. The object in question is said to resemble a tic-tac, and over the last few decades many military personnel have come forward with their encounters. Mr. Underwood, the Navy pilot, came forward with his encounter and described the object as travelling very fast. The object immediately went viral across many sites, mainly because the military tend to stay away from these types of encounters, and even if they do happen they don't tend to comment on them. However, this video has been described by some theorists as being the best UFO footage to come out in recent years. Interestingly though, the Navy pilot behind the incident isn't a fan of the newfound fame. In recent interviews he stated he doesn't want to get involved with the UFO, and doesn't think it's alien in nature. He went on to say the object in question is a UFO, an object that at that moment in time he couldn't identify. Although at first some deemed the footage as fake, US Navy officials come forward and confirm the clips are genuine. Radar operator Kevin Day then came forward and said that he'd picked up on the mysterious object. Not only that, but there was a group of them flying in a tight formation. This report, however, came several days before the Navy pilot encountered the craft. This has caused some to suggest the UFOs were in the area before they were encountered by the pilot. This isn't uncommon, and some individuals have even seen some of the most famous UFO crafts days before they make the news. The radar operator said the crafts were moving slowly. This caused some to speculate that the objects could have been birds, but the operator said the objects were flying too high to be birds, and interestingly they were flying too slow to be any conventional aircrafts. The unidentified flying objects were flying at 28,000 feet, and travelling at an approximate speed of 138 miles per hour. The objects also weren't on an established flight path, meaning they couldn't be linked to any conventional aircrafts. The operator tried to identify what they were, but couldn't come up with a logical answer. Mr. Underwood then had his encounter while he was on a flight training exercise. This happened in 2005 and he was able to remain silent about it for almost 15 years. He's had several interviews talking about the object and seems confused about what he encountered that day. In one interview he said the following: "At no point did I want to speculate as to what I thought this thing was, or to be associated with alien beings, alien aircrafts and all that stuff. It was just what we call a UFO. I couldn't identify it and it was flying. So to me it was just an object, it's as simple as that." If anything, one thing this encounter has done has sparked a new interest in UFOs and unidentified phenomena. People are more interested in UFOs than ever before, and this could be in part because of the Navy UFO sighting. It's one of the clearest UFOs that have been captured on camera, and now the Navy have confirmed it's genuine. It's given these types of sightings more credibility. Usually when a UFO is seen by someone or caught on camera, it's usually debunked straight away. However, with this footage it shows that even the Navy have encountered something they're not sure of. Unfortunately, the majority of UFOs and crafts that are caught on camera are not genuine. One paranormal researcher said the following about UFOs: "UFOs make for great headlines and they interest many of us. However, what researchers can agree on is that 99% of them are not genuine. The majority of videos and photographs that are taken of UFOs do eventually get solved. The issue we are facing at the moment is that there's a lot of hoaxes out there, and they're making genuine researchers' lives very difficult. Instead of trying to find real evidence and help to publish the research further, what I'm finding is that the majority of my time is spent debunking videos that don't include anything of an unexplained nature. Every day hundreds of videos of UFOs are taken, and if one sits down and applies logic, it becomes very easy to explain what's actually going on in the video. Most of these alleged UFOs turn out to be everyday things. This includes solar events, photograph anomalies, birds, military operations, balloons, conventional aircrafts, toys, and of course hoaxes. Interestingly, the Pentagon has even got involved in the UFO phenomena. At the end of 2017, the United States Department of Defense began their subtle declassification process. This was by slowly declassifying a collection of military documents and research information to the general public. Usually these declassification processes are fraught with financial information, technical documents and references to training programs, government budgets, assistance with other nations or basic procedures, of which do not hold any significant importance outside of technical military information. However, it became apparent very quickly to members amongst the UFO community that the declassified files coming from the Pentagon were more than just research and technical information. The files that were slowly being declassified over the course of the previous years detailed information regarding a clandestine team of researchers, tasked with getting information relative to unidentified flying objects and strange extraterrestrial sightings. Back in 2007, the Department of Defense began developing a UFO research program tasked with gathering information regarding unidentified flying objects and conducting research as to the observed aircrafts, their origin and their technological prowess. The research group was quickly budgeted with $22 million in support, and a team comprising of military intelligence officials, researchers and the highest levels of security clearance. The program itself went by the name of AATIP, which stood for the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, and was given the primary objective of identifying these unidentified flying objects as whether or not they had potential threats to national security. It didn't take long for the AATIP team to gather a wide variety of strange sighting reports, of which were made by pilots from across the country, including associated data like camera footage and radar information while attempting to match these sightings with known international aircraft signatures. Expecting to find explanations to these crafts and their origin after the data had been compiled, it became rather obvious this would be more difficult than first thought. In fact, many of the researchers involved in the program regarded these UFO sightings and crafts as having no earthly origin, and displaying behavior that couldn't be explained. This could very well be the closest the Department of Defense will ever come to admitting the viability of extraterrestrial craft without directly saying it. Although the program has currently been discontinued, which is the main cause for the declassification of the files, the chief of the UFO program still heavily believes in the importance of the study, and the viability of his team to continue their research and gather information regarding issues of national security. Louis Elizondo, the program's chief military intelligence official, claimed that not only did these crafts exhibit behaviors that appear to defy the very laws of aviation, but that these crafts are found to be 100% non-man-made, and were out of the scope of human capabilities. His reasoning for this claim was that the crafts investigated demonstrated hypersonic capabilities that were described as being far beyond the scope that is physically tolerable by a human being, of whom would experience a high amount of Gs to the point that would either be fatal or seriously wound them. This meant that whoever or whatever was piloting these aircrafts appeared to be non-human. Not only this, but the technological developments of the crafts also made it very apparent that the creation of these unidentified flying objects were vastly superior to anything man-made. The program's official describes in one of his many reports regarding the subject as saying the following: "There is a lot we really don't know. We have identified anomalous aircrafts, crafts that do not have any obvious flight surfaces, forms of propulsion and maneuvering in ways that include extreme maneuverability, beyond the healthy G-forces of anything biological, low observability and positive lift. These aircraft, will call them aircraft, display capabilities not in the US arsenal or any other militaries. Not only does this help to supply overwhelming legitimate proof research and developments made in the UFO community, but demonstrates that the evidence regarding extraterrestrial life is both obvious and abundant amongst intelligent officials as well as legitimate in all regard. The main establishment of the secret UFO program and the objective of the UFO researchers involved in the program was to determine whether or not these unidentified flying objects were an issue of national security or posed a threat to the safety of UFO citizens and the US government. It was originally believed that these crafts could have been aircraft developed by different militaries around the world, and given their ability to vanish off radar detection, could have been a variation on developments for stealth bombers or stealth aircrafts. This meant the number one task in regards to the UFO files was to determine the purpose of the aircrafts, and their origin as to determine whether or not these aircrafts posed a threat. After it became fairly obvious that the unidentified flying objects were not man-made, the issues at hand became increasingly complex. The methods used to determine whether or not these crafts were a threat to national security circled around where these crafts were spotted, the technology the crafts used and its ability to be used in warfare. Using these simple metrics, it became apparent to the researchers that not only were these unidentified flying objects a threat, but they demonstrated technological prowess that could not be matched if ever a fight played out. So my question to you guys is, what do you make of these crafts? And what do you think is their origin? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us both grow in this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.